Air Jordan, his airness, the GOAT. Michael Jeffrey Jordan isn't just a name, he's an era, a movement, a symbol of greatness that transcends basketball. His impact stretches from the streets of Chicago to the biggest arenas in the world. But how did he go from a skinny kid in North Carolina to the most dominant force in sports history? How did he build an empire and etch his name into history forever? This is the story of the last dance, of failures turned into fuel, of a mindset so ruthless it became legendary. Buckle up because we're diving into the rise, the struggles, the triumphs, and the moments that made Michael Jordan the greatest of all time. Before the rings, before the fame, before the Jordan name became larger than life, there was just a kid in Wilmington, North Carolina, with a ball in his hands and a fire in his heart. But here's the twist. Michael Jordan wasn't always seen as a future legend. In fact, one of the most famous stories in sports history is that Jordan got cut from his high school varsity team as a sophomore. Think about that. Arguably the greatest to ever touch a basketball was told he wasn't good enough. But here's what separates MJ from the rest. He never took failure as final. Instead of sulking, he turned that rejection into fuel. He trained harder, played smarter, and came back the next year as an unstoppable force. By the time he left high school, he was one of the most dominant players in the country. And this wouldn't be the last time Michael Jordan took adversity and turned it into greatness. Fast forward to 1982. A young Jordan steps onto the court for the University of North Carolina, playing under the legendary Dean Smith. MJ wasn't the star yet. He had James Worthy and Sam Perkins as teammates. But when the moment came, Jordan showed the world what he was made of. With the NCAA championship on the line, he hit the game-winning shot against Georgetown. That moment, it wasn't just a win. It was the birth of a killer instinct that would define his entire career. The world had gotten its first taste of Clutch Jordan. 1984. The Chicago Bulls, a struggling franchise with no real identity, select Michael Jordan with a third overall pick. Yes, third. Two teams, Houston and Portland, passed on him. Big mistake. The moment MJ touched an NBA court, it was game over. He was electric. He won Rookie of the Year, put up absurd scoring numbers, and dropped 63 points in a playoff game against Larry Bird's Celtics. A performance that had Bird calling him God disguised as Michael Jordan. The talent, unreal. But Jordan knew talent alone wasn't enough. He had to become unstoppable. But the road to greatness is never smooth. For years, Jordan dominated individually, but every season his Bulls ran into the same brick wall, the Detroit Pistons. They weren't just beating him, they were physically punishing him. The Jordan rules were brutal. Double teams, hard fouls, body checks. It was the closest thing to legal assault on a basketball court. Most players would have crumbled, not Jordan. Instead of complaining, he evolved. He hit the weight room, got stronger, got meaner, and in 1991, he finally took down the Pistons. And once he broke through, nobody could stop him. After taking down Magic Johnson's Lakers in 91, Jordan and the Bulls became unbeatable. 3 straight championships, MVPs, scoring titles. He wasn't just playing the game, he was owning it. But, just when the world thought MJ would reign forever, everything changed. In 1993, tragedy struck. Jordan's father, his biggest inspiration, was murdered. Just months after his third title, Michael Jordan did the unthinkable. He retired from basketball. The world was in shock. And then, MJ took his talents to baseball. For 2 years, Jordan played minor league baseball. But the fire for basketball never left. And then, in 1995, 2 words sent chills through the sports world. I'm back. If the first three-peat was dominance, the second was revenge. Jordan returned with vengeance, leading the Bulls to a record-breaking 72-10 season and 2 more championships. And then came 1998, the last dance, Jordan's final masterpiece. Game 6, 1998 Finals. Bulls down by 1. Jordan steals the ball, dribbles up the court, crosses over, and swish. The shot, the pose, the legacy sealed in stone. That was Michael Jordan's mic drop. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, Undefeated in the finals, the perfect ending. Michael Jordan wasn't just the best player, he changed sports forever. His work ethic inspired Kobe, his brand redefined fashion, his competitive fire became legendary. Even decades later, when we talk about greatness, we compare everyone to Michael Jordan. That's impact, that's legacy.